The universe is mind-boggling vast, with more stars than grains of sand on Earth. If we are to take the Islamic narrative as true, the God who made 400 billion galaxies from a time span of more or less 14 billion years shows a pale blue dot near our star and a tribe of nomads in the 7th century, and particularly a 40-year-old merchant, and made this statement.
We sent not a messenger, but to be obeyed in accordance with the will of Allah. If they had only when they were unjust to themselves come unto you and asked Allah's forgiveness, and the messenger had asked forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah indeed oft returning, most merciful. But no, by the Lord, they can have no real faith, until they make you judge in all disputes between them, and find in their souls no resistance against your decisions, but accept them with the fullest conviction.
God was so impressed with the moral character of this 7th century merchant that he said should make you judge in all disputes between them and find in their souls no resistance against your decisions, but accept them with the fullest conviction.
There is no such thing as a coincidence.
Make the judge in all disputes between them is a totalitarian dictatorship, worse than North Korea, okay, much worse. Find in their souls no resistance against your decisions is blind faith and demands humans to be mindless zombies. And of course, all that is Shirk.
If they had only when they were unjust to themselves come unto you and asked Allah's forgiveness, and the messenger had asked forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah indeed oft returning, most merciful.
Here Allah declares that He forgives certain sins if Mohammad intermediates. Note, it doesn't say, or Mohammad asks forgiveness for you. He says, and Mohammad asks forgiveness for you. Obviously, according to Allah, Mohammed is more than just any other human.
Those who annoy Allah and His Messenger, Allah has cursed them in this world and in the hereafter, and has prepared for them a humiliating punishment.
Here, Allah, after thinking an eternity in heaven, He uses the word annoy in His perfect book. He could have said those who disobey Allah or those who do evil. Instead, He uses the word annoy. Allah exhibits human-like feelings, and Allah is even more touchy and temperate than humans, as not even humans would have been annoyed if some tiny creatures I created disobey me while I created them to disobey me in the first place, and I already know the future. So Allah is more touchy than humans. Why you tiny, puny humans disobey me? I'm frustrated when I made you to disobey me in the first place. Okay, imagine how stupid that is. Why you did exactly what I planned in the first place to do? Now I'm frustrated. I need to see my psychiatrist, my psychologist, I don't know. Not only that, he then remembers his partner, Muhammad, and said, those who annoy me and the Prophet. So wait just a moment. Those who annoy Muhammad, Allah curses them in this world and inflicts on them humiliating punishment in the next. Those who annoy Muhammad. Does Allah means, I don't know, annoy God by annoying Muhammad?
O you who believe, enter not the Prophet's houses, until leave is given you for a meal, and then not so early as to wait for its preparation. But when you are invited, enter, and when you have taken your meal, disperse without seeking familiar talk. Such behavior annoys the Prophet. He is ashamed to dismiss you, but Allah is not ashamed to tell you the truth. Nor is it right for you that you should annoy Allah's messenger, or that you should marry his widows after him at any time. Truly such a thing is in Allah's sight an enormity.
I am now a child of light. Your earthly money holds no appeal to me.
$20,000. So, annoying the Prophet includes entering his home too early for dinner and seeking familiar talk. So, it's not the divine, only the divine stuff. Moreover, it cannot be the divine stuff, because then he wouldn't have said annoyed the Prophet. Because Muhammad is a human, he gets annoyed from many things. The status Allah gives to Muhammad is an insult to human dignity and human intellectualism. Okay? Allah expects all humanity to bow unconditionally and in a totalitarian way to a human, essentially. And it just happens the same human is the person who is telling the story in the first place. Okay, so unimaginable nonsense. Okay.
The day that their faces will be turned upside down in the fire, they will say, Woe to us! Would that we had obeyed Allah and obeyed the Messenger. It is not fitting for a believer, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, to have any option about their decision. If anyone disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he is indeed on a clearly wrong path.
It should be clear by now, Allah has a partner and his name is Muhammad. The person who is telling the story keeps putting himself equal to Allah.
Say, who is it that can screen you from Allah, if it be His wish to give you punishment or to give you mercy? Nor will they find for themselves besides Allah any protector or helper.
Sorry guys, the stupidity of the Quran is, okay, it breaks every limit. Okay, every time I go to the Quran to find a verse for something, I find another 10 verses, problematic verses. It's endless stupidity. Okay, look what this verse just said.
Say, who is it that can screen you from Allah, if it be His wish to give you punishment or to give you mercy? Nor will they find for themselves besides Allah any protector or helper.
Who is it? Who is it? This one is who is it? Guys, the Quran is endless contradiction. This one is who is it?
If they had only when they were unjust to themselves come unto you and ask Allah's forgiveness, and the Messenger had asked forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah indeed oft returning, most merciful.
Guys, imagine how stupid is the Quran that it gives us evidence for its truth, that it has no contradictions, and it has the most contradictions of all the books in human history. Okay, even that claim is a contradiction. Okay, imagine how stupid is this book. The book with the most contradictions of all the books in human history makes a claim for its truth that it has no contradictions. Imagine the stupidity of this book. Imagine, it breaks every limit of stupidity. Anyway, so then we go to the wives of the Prophet.
O consorts of the Prophet, if any of you were guilty of evident unseemly conduct, the punishment would be doubled to her, and that is easy for Allah. But any of you that is devout in the service of Allah and His Messenger, and works righteousness, to her shall we grant her reward twice, and we have prepared for her a generous sustenance.
So if the wives of the Prophet disobey the Prophet, they get double punishment. But if they serve the Prophet, they get double the reward in heaven. Why? Because they are wives of the Prophet. And they disobey or obey the Prophet. Is Allah just when He gives double the penalty and double the reward? Let's see which women can be the wives of the Prophet.
O consorts of the Prophet, you are not like any of the other women. O Prophet, we have made lawful to you your wives to whom you have paid their dowers, and those whom your right hand possesses out of the prisoners of war whom Allah has assigned to you, and daughters of your paternal uncles and aunts, and daughters of your maternal uncles and aunts, who migrated from Mecca with you, and any believing woman who dedicates her soul to the Prophet if the Prophet wishes to wed her. This only for you and not for the believers at large. We know what we have appointed for them as to their wives, and the captives whom their right hands possess, in order that there should be no difficulty for you. And Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful.
Okay, guys, Islam is a circus. Okay, I started this video and I tried to make it a serious video, but it's impossible. Okay, it's a circus. And guys, the verses I put on is almost random. Okay, I go to find one verse, and in the surah I read, there are other relevant verses. I mean, I don't even give justice to the stupidity of this book. Okay. An endless circus. The only miracle in Islam is that there are people that actually read this book and believe it. Okay, that is the miracle in Islam. Science will need to investigate what is the reason. People actually believe this book. Anyway, thank you very much.
By the gods, an owl.
Golden owl.